Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're getting things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are slipping this morning with S&P futures down 0.33%, Dow futures down 0.29%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.48%. Nervousness about U.S. interest rate hikes has spread through global markets, leading to a drop in both U.S. markets and European alike, while the dollar has strengthened. In the most recent discussions, Fed Chair Jerome Powell acknowledged the risk of inflation and said officials have begun talks about scaling back bond purchases. Policymakers' dot plots show that they anticipate 2 rate increases by the end of 2023, which would be a faster than expected pace of tightening. Powell downplayed the risk of any immediate rate increase, but some investors took his comments as a way to prepare markets for a hawkish tilt and an eventual tapering. CureVac, ticker CVAC, has plunged as much as 52% in German trading and near 50% in U.S. pre-market after a study found that its COVID-19 vaccine fell short of targets. The findings, though preliminary, throw the future of the vaccine into question as wealthy nations around the world are moving fast to inoculate their populations with other shots already available and proven. Elsewhere in markets, copper fell 2.2% in London to the lowest in 2 months. The rally in metals has cooled in recent weeks, and copper has retreated from record highs as concerns about cost pressures spurred expectation stimulus that had been supporting the global recovery would be scaled back. Over in Europe, the Stock 600 index fell for the first time in 10 days. Emerging markets and commodities were lower while bank shares advanced. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long. They've been trading higher. They're getting a little weak right now, but that's because we got the jobless claims report coming out soon. Yesterday's drop in equity prices is really that reaction to the Fed's monetary policy statement. They were pretty clear with what they were going to say, and they did say it. The only real caveat that was new was that dot plot, which indicated that there is a possibility of a rate increase in 2022. It just means more FOMC members are considering it or are open to considering it. Fed Chairman Powell really struggled to quell the notions of possible rate increases next year. The move lower on the Fed statement was essentially anticipated. I mean, you kind of knew that they were going to be talking about interest rates. You knew that they were going to talk about, lowering the bond purchasing program. So you should expected the market to sell off a little bit. But the smart money really knows that increasing interest rates are really a sign of a growing economy, and anything can happen in a year. And so I'm not panicking here at the thought of rising interest rates. You have the initial jobless claims that are for last week that are coming out soon, and they're expecting to decline again, which is positive. So, yeah, I'm focused on earnings. I'm focused on these economic reports, and right now I see positive movement in the near term.
Let's go ahead and talk about earnings to watch. Bill, tell us what's going on for earnings today.
Lanier, the home builder, this is a big one. They delivered a 59-cent beat on higher revenue. They expect gross margins of 26.5 and 20 to 27% versus the previous projection of 25%. You see the stock is up this morning on the news. This is important because you got KB Homes releasing next week. If Lanier does a positive, KB Homes should come in strong as well. So you could expect KB Homes to start trading higher today as well. Kroger, that's ticker KR, Kilo Richard. They delivered an 18-cent beat on higher revenue. They raised this year's adjusted EPS guidance to $2.95 to $3.10. The previous guidance was $2.75 to $2.95. So that's a nice increase. You see the stock's up 0.67% already in the pre-market. Looks good for Kroger.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Adobe, that's ticker ADBE. Apple, David, Boy, Edward, they're releasing today after the close. EPS estimate is $2.81. We're expecting a 4.08% move when they release their earnings. Smith & Wesson, this is the gun manufacturer. That's ticker SWBI, Sam William Boy, India. They're releasing after the close today. EPS estimate is for $1.02. You're looking for a 7.2% move once they release their earnings.
Moving into economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
Jobless claims coming out at 8:30. They're expected to show a little lower of a number, which is positive, showing that more people are working in the economy. Also at 8:30, we have the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, and at 10 o'clock, we have the leading economic indicators report coming out. It's also important to note that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is going to be appearing before the House Ways and Means Committee, and what is she going to be discussing? Joe Biden's budget. So that there could be some highlights coming out. So you want to watch some of these raw material stocks.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Viking Therapeutics, ticker VKTX. The company has announced results from its phase 1 clinical trial of selective thyroid receptor beta agonists. The treatment met primary endpoints for safety as well as found to lower cholesterol levels to a statistically significant degree. Viking share price is up 11.84% in pre-market. News on Fisker, ticker FSR. Fisker and Magna, ticker MGA, have signed a long-term manufacturing agreement. The companies also confirmed that production of the all-electric Fisker Ocean SUV is projected to start on November 17th, 2022 at Magna's manufacturing facility in Austria. Fisker's share price is up 2.76% in pre-market. In other news, Magna Chip, ticker MX, is down 5% in pre-market after disclosing that it needs Korean approval for the Wise Road Capital merger. News on Dish Network, ticker DISH. The company has entered into a partnership with Dell, ticker DELL, for key parts of the infrastructure for the 5G network it is building in the U.S. As part of its partnership, Dell will provide computer servers to Dish that will be placed at the bottom of cell towers or nearby. Dish has pledged to cover 70% of the U.S. population with its network by mid-2023, and the 5G service is expected to launch first in Las Vegas later this year. Dish's share price is down 0.8% in pre-market. News on Baidu, ticker BIDU. Baidu and ArcFox are partnering to release Apollo Moon, a new generation of robo-taxis that are set to be mass-produced with a per-unit manufacturing price of just over $74,000. Apollo Moon has a projected operating cycle of over 5 years. The companies will roll out a fleet of 1,000 Apollo Moon robo-taxis in 3 years. So far, the robo-taxis have been made available in Beijing, Shanghai, and other urban cities within China. Baidu's share price is up 0.1% in pre-market. In other news, the U.S. Department of Justice filed a civil antitrust lawsuit to block Aon, ticker AON, and its $30 billion proposed acquisition of Willis Towers Watson, ticker WLTW, alleging that the deal could eliminate competition, raise prices, and reduce innovation for U.S. businesses. Aon and Willis Towers Watson responded that they disagreed with the department's action, which reflects a lack of understanding of business, the clients they serve, and the marketplaces in which they operate. Willis Towers Watson's share price is up 0.36% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific sectors. I'm looking for specific industries. I'm looking for, specific events that are about to occur. And I kind of look at that news to kind of see how it's going to, is it priced into the market? Is there an opportunity to trade and make some money off of these things? So one of the stocks in the FANG sector that I'm watching is Google. They're looking to teach foreign languages via Google search. That news item just came out. One thing that you have to also remember is Amazon's Prime Day. That's ticker AMZN, Apple, Michael, Zebra, Nancy. Next week is Prime Day. This is going to be, the largest number of deals in their event's 7-year history. Now, the stock typically runs higher into Prime Day, so you got to start watching it later today and tomorrow morning to see if gains will come due to the fact that this event is upcoming. Also on Amazon is Walmart and Amazon have filed legal challenges in India against the resumption of an antitrust investigation into their business practices. And one that's kind of Tesla related is really General Motors. It's raising its investment in electronic vehicles. This is a second boost in recent months and it's pushing deeper into battery production, making it the latest global auto manufacturer to accelerate into the transition of plug-in cars. So it's kind of interesting. This sort of news is a negative for Tesla. Dow Jones 30 alert, Disney, I see that JP Morgan is holding an analyst call today at 11 a.m. entitled Dissecting Disney. Microsoft, the board unanimously elects Nadell as the chairman of the board. Johnson & Johnson is said to be going to miss their second quarter COVID vaccine targets in Europe. Semiconductors are showing weakness this morning. And, what I found out was that Chinese semiconductor stocks really jumped yesterday or overnight session. And why? Because Beijing is stepping up their chip ambitions. Looking at the option headlines, I'm noticing, that the FANG stocks are really trading at some low volatility numbers. Netflix, for instance, the 30-day option implied volatility is at 23. The 52-week range is 23 to 69. Facebook, the 30-day option implied volatility is 25, whereas in the 52-week range is 21 to 55. In Google, the 30-day option implied volatility is at 21. And you can compare that to the 52-week range of 19 to 49. You see that Google is trading at low vols. In terms of events that are going on today, Dave and Buster's, that's ticker PLAY, P-L-A-Y, Paul, Larry, Apple, Yellow, having a shareholders meeting today that starts at 9:30 a.m. Ticker BBBY, Boy, Yellow, shareholder also is having a shareholders meeting today at 10 a.m. Ollie's Bargain Basements, that's ticker OLLI, Oscar, Larry, India. Their shareholders meeting starts at 10 a.m. this morning. Zoom Video, that's ticker ZM, Zebra Mary. They're having a shareholders meeting today that starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Lyft, their shareholders meeting starts at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time today. And Splunk, that's ticker SPLK, Sam, Paul, Larry, Kilo. They're having a shareholders meeting that's starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time today. In terms of guidance, JBIL, that's ticker JBIL, John Boy, India Larry. They came out and say that Q4 2021 EPS of $1.25 to $1.45. And this is versus the previous consensus of $1.17. So you can see JBIL moving a little higher this morning. Jazz Pharmaceuticals, that's ticker JAZZ, John Apple, Zebra. They're expecting revenue of $302 billion to $318 billion. Compare that with the prior year's outlook of $2.55 billion to $2.7 billion. And that's a pretty sizable increase. But that's what I'm seeing this morning in the latest news, Shane.
Moving into our Trade Talk picks for today, I'm picking one I spoke about, Baidu, ticker BIDU. Its plan to release these Apollo Moon robo-taxis, it's just super innovative. And, they're already releasing them. It's just great news for them. Baidu made a big buck off of a robo-taxi experiment they did back in the new year. I don't know if you guys remember that. We called that trade and I think we made about 20% off of that one in a day. I really think that this could have a lot of hype behind it too and could be another one that really drives the share price higher. So Baidu's my pick. What's yours looking like, Bill?
Going with Goldman, ticker GS. The fact is that this is kind of a play on the interest rate increases that may or may not occur in a year and a half from now. I mean, higher interest rates are really a positive for financial stocks. They're if you look over history, the markets always seem to rise during periods of when interest rates are rising. This is a fact. This worrisome, this nervousness that somehow moving interest rates a quarter point is going to crush the market is insane. It's not right. So what I'm looking at the long-term history here, and I'm thinking that these stocks are going to start to rise, especially the bank stocks. That I'm picking Goldman, kind of best of breed. I see the brokers are continuing to raise their price targets on the stock and well over 400. So that's my pick today. Ticker GS, Gray Sam, Goldman Sachs.
Let's talk about what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will move the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get into it. Bill, seeing our headlines, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
IBM, International Business Machines. They're collaborating with 30 organizations to reskill and connect the workforce with real career opportunities. Netflix, KeyBank is saying that Netflix is tracking below estimates, but they do see light at the end of the tunnel.
GAN, ticker GAN, has reached an agreement with Illinois-based Incredible Technologies to obtain exclusive online rights to its online games.
Ticker TSM, Tom, Sam, Mary. Deutsche Bank is calling it Catalyst Call Buy Idea, TSM, Tom, Sam, Mary.
Medigas, ticker MDGS. Its charging robotics assigns first distributor for wireless EV charging.
Here's a follow-up on the Netflix story. People are spending more time outdoors, which will hurt Netflix this quarter, according to KeyBank. Allstate, ticker ALL, Apple, Larry. Allstate just announced their May 2021 catastrophic losses.
Ford, ticker F, has announced reservations for new vehicles. Farley will report that reservations have swelled up to 190,000 for the reimagined full-size Bronco SUV.
Following up on Ford, Ford Motor Company expects Q2 adjusted EBITDA to be significantly better than last year's.
Bradley, ticker BRC, has acquired the Code Corporation for $173 million.
Camping Worldwide, that's ticker CWH, Charlie William Henry. I noticed that a research firm just came out and they downgraded the stock. I saw elevated put activity in CWH yesterday, Charlie William Henry.
ALFI, ticker ALFI, announced that Miami is the first of 10 major cities that will be rolling out its tablets in Ubers, ticker UBER, and Lyft vehicles. And Lyft is ticker LYFT. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing today, Shane.
Same here, so that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind you can receive the same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It will definitely up your trading game. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had Blackstone Labs, ticker BX. It opened at $97.44 and moved as high as $99.36 for a 1.97% gain. Just before 12, the share price remained above $99 and even actually came back up to it in the late afternoon. So there was plenty of time to actually trade for a decent hike, and the share price went down a little bit towards the close. It still ended up closing higher at $98.48. So it was a good move for us. How did yours end up doing, Bill?
I did AMAT yesterday, ticker AMAT, Apple Michael, Apple Tom. Remember, this was a short-term trade because you didn't want to hold this too long because you knew the Fed was coming out and you knew what the Fed was going to say and it was going to be negative on stock. So this stock opened up at 139.51 and then it pushed up to 140.29. And it was all based on the, advancement that they came out with of the engineering of wiring of the logic chips. That was a big news story for them that I think will, show dividends in this coming quarter's revenue report. It did sell off towards the end of the day, along with the market closing at 136.98. But that was a hot story yesterday.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.